Joe Flacco and Shedeur Sanders are out of the picture with the Cleveland Browns. Kevin Stefanski will let them know Kenny Pickett and Dylan Gabriel are Kevin Stefanski's guy. After OTAs in the Cleveland Browns minicamp, players are currently on break ahead of the official training camp, which will begin in late July and lead into the start of the regular season when the Browns face the Cincinnati Bengals in Week 1. The Cleveland Browns are a team with many needs, especially on offense. On defense, with Myles Garrett, they might earn some respect, but on the other side of the ball, they could be seen as a joke, particularly due to the ongoing four-ways quarterback battle between Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, and the focus of this story, Shedeur Sanders. There's been talk that Joe Flacco has the edge to become the starting quarterback, mainly because he's the only one with experience in the system. After all, in 2023, he played 5 games, won 4, and lost 1, enough to take the Browns to the playoffs. However, Kevin Stefanski might see things differently. Kenny Pickett and Dylan Gabriel, reportedly Stefanski's favorites. Among the countless analyses made in recent months since Shedeur Sanders was drafted by the Cleveland Browns, it has nearly always been presented as a battle between Flacco and Sanders, Flacco as the starter, and Shedeur Sanders entering the season as the backup. However, there's another version of the story. Former NFL wide receiver and current analyst T.J. Houshmandzadeh spoke on the Nightcap show about the situation in Cleveland and believes the real competition is between Kenny Pickett and Dylan Gabriel. I don't know how this is a fair competition. Someone inside the building who is not a player told me it's really coming down to Kenny Pickett or Dylan Gabriel, said Houshmandzadeh. Cleveland Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski has repeatedly stated that the competition is open, although deep down, he likely knows who his Week 1 quarterback will be. We realize we're so far away from that type of thought process, Stefanski said during minicamp. Honestly, we're in our installation phase. It's the off-season. It's OTAs, so we're going to keep the focus there. Once you get into training camp, of course, you're getting ready to play games and ultimately the season. But right now, that's not our focus. The quarterback saga will be interesting to follow. Browns wide receiver Deontay Johnson also revealed that the team is leaning toward Kenny Pickett, so the rumors will continue to grow, and it may no longer be a surprise to see the Steelers' 2022 first-round pick as the Browns starter. In the steel-gray morning light over Lake Erie, the Cleveland Browns training facility buzzed with an electric anticipation. The 2025 season was months away, but the city's expectations had already started to weigh heavy. In the heart of Berea, behind the soundproof doors of his office, head coach Kevin Stefanski sat poised with the gravity of a decision he had long known was coming. Joe Flacco and Shedeur Sanders, 2 quarterbacks who in different ways had captured attention across the league, were waiting in the hallway. Joe Flacco was a ghost from another era, a Super Bowl MVP, a veteran with a deep resume and an even deeper spiral. He had resurrected his career in the twilight hours of last season, stepping in when others couldn't, and for a moment looked like the savior of the city once starved for competence under center. Shedeur Sanders was the opposite. All promise and flash, charisma and pedigree. Son of Dion, molded in the high-wattage spotlight of Colorado football, Shedeur had arrived in Cleveland as a symbol of the future. Social media loved him. His jersey sold out on draft night. But the NFL didn't care about the past or the hype. It cared only about now. And now, Stefanski had to make it clear the team was going in another direction. The decision hadn't come easy. For weeks, the coaching staff had dissected tape. Flacco's arm was still serviceable, but his mobility was fading fast. His timing wasn't what it used to be. He played with wisdom, yes, but also with the tiredness of a player who had seen one too many blitzes. Shedeur was fast, raw, confident to a fault, but he wasn't ready. Not for this offense, not for this locker room. The pros had exposed his flaws. His read progression lagged. He took unnecessary risks, and when under pressure, he reverted to backyard football. Exciting, but dangerous. Hey, Jeff, the Browns had just inked a long-term deal with a new quarterback in free agency, a younger veteran who meshed better with Stefanski's system. It wasn't personal. It was business. Cold, precise, necessary business. Stefanski opened the door. Joe, Shedeur, come in. They sat across from him, the generational contrast stark. Joe leaned back, composed, like he'd been in rooms like this 1,000 times. Shedeur, in designer sweats, bounced his knee with anxious energy. Stefanski didn't waste time. I want to thank both of you for what you brought to this team, he began. But we're moving forward with a new direction at quarterback. Joe, you gave us everything last season. What you did, stepping in cold, leading the way you did, that doesn't go unnoticed. Joe nodded. His expression didn't change. He said. He'd been expecting this. Stefanski turned to Shedeur. Shedeur, you've got potential. You've got the tools, the drive, and I believe you'll have a real career in this league. But right now, in Cleveland, you're not the fit we need. We're making roster moves, and unfortunately, you're not in the plan for this season. Silence. Shedeur's eyes narrowed just slightly. So that's it? He said. After 1 year? It's never just 1 year, Stefanski replied evenly. It's the system, the timing, the team chemistry, the fit. This is the league. It's about where you're best positioned to succeed. Right now, I don't think that's here, but I truly hope it's somewhere else. Flacco stood, extended his hand. No hard feelings, coach. You do what you have to do. I've been around too long to take this personal. Stefanski shook his hand. You've always been a pro, Joe. Then Shedeur stood slower. His face was unreadable. You'll see, he said, voice low. This league moves fast. I'm not done. I hope not, Stefanski said. I want to see you thrive. As they left the room, Stefanski let out a breath he hadn't realized he was holding. These conversations were never easy, especially not with players who had meant so much to the fans, to the media, to the locker room. But coaching wasn't about popularity. It was about vision.